What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Until Dawn. And, it hasn't been all that long since we talked about the movie that, they're making of this game, and we had a whole talk on that, a whole video. Well, this time, we get a rumor from the exact same people, exact same source that we talked about yesterday with Death Stranding 2. So, exact same website, actually, exact same layout of, how they present the information. And they drop a few things. They start off by saying that it's not just Until Dawn, there's actually still several games coming to PC from PlayStation. Now, we've talked about that, right? There's rumors that Ghost of Tsushima and God of War Ragnarok and eventually even like a Spider-Man 2, a lot of these games are, going to make it to PC very soon. So Until Dawn, that was not in that original, rumor, so that kind of be added on. But I think it actually makes a lot of sense. But, I'll leave my opinion for it, at the end. So it's coming to PS5 as well as PC. That's what they say. They don't know if it's a remaster or a remake. I would imagine it's a remaster. The game's not even 9 years old yet. It's 8.5. It's coming up on 9. So I highly doubt it'd be a remake. But you know what? Crazier things have happened. And much like Death Stranding 2 on the beach, they say that it's the exact same thing. They estimate that we'll see this thing within the next 15 days. So, on the main channel on Podcast Now, I made a video. We talked about a state of play, right? And I think that's where you're going to get it. I think there'll be a state of play, Death Stranding, Until Dawn, locks, especially if there is a state of play, right? Because that's what this is heavily hinting at. And then I guess at the very end, they actually say that it's been in development for at least a year. I don't know how long it takes to port these games over. I would hope that, a year is probably not enough time, a little bit more. But I would hope that this game comes out, within 2024. So, in terms of my opinion, well, I talked about this franchise I guess maybe you can call it a franchise if it gets the base game, a remaster, and now like a film, right? It is basically becoming a franchise, even if it's just one thing. The movie we talked about, and I have mixed thoughts, but I love the game. Until Dawn is such a phenomenal game. To bring it back out, look, like, as time is going on, I'm actually a pretty big fan of remasters, even maybe remakes. The way that, PlayStation is not the greatest with, like, the generational jumps. There are some games left behind. Now, Until Dawn is not one of them, but I guess my point is, as I've gotten older and as these consoles, have progressed and there's all these games, I'm okay. I'm okay with these games coming kind of back out. It depends, I guess, on the price, but the way I look at it, at least, in my own mind, is just more people. You have the opportunity to hit people now that didn't get hit back then. And, Until Dawn, as we talked about with the film, the game did really well. It didn't do, like, the greatest of all time, but it did really solid numbers, and Sony just didn't promote it. This was an exclusive game to them. It came out in August, and then when it went into that Halloween, number one, it should have released in October. Number two, once they realized the game was really good, which you could do that kind of right away, they should have put any kind of marketing into it, and they didn't. So I guess I bring that up because, hey, if you remaster this thing now, you put it on PC now, yes, we know the endings, we know the differences in choice, right, like what that does. This is a game that many people have watched, like Let's Plays and reactions and all that stuff, but I think you would get several hundreds of thousands of people that would be into this and would, want to do it now. Again, also ease of playing it, so, getting it on a PS5, even though, like, it was on PS4, you can easily just play it on your PS5, but to have a PS5 version, and then, I guess more specifically, putting it on PC. That's a really big one. I really like that decision, and I think that would really work. So I'm all for it. The movie, I'm a bit more split. That one's a harder one to sell, but I think it would work. We talked about that in that video. I think a movie of this game actually does work. You just have to shorten it. You have to pick a definitive path that you want to go through, right? Because player choice, goes out the window. So that one's a little bit more mixed with me, but, bringing the game back, I think that's fine. And 9 years, that's a pretty good length. It's, like I said earlier, it's not necessarily the greatest length for a remake. I prefer remakes to be like 11, 12, 13, 14 years after. I know, like, Last of Us did it after, I think, 10, and, there's been some examples. That's kind of the fringe line, right? If you do a remake after 9 or 10 years, that's probably the earliest you could do a remake while getting away with it. And beyond that, it should probably just be a remaster. So we'll see what happens. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.